Hey guys, Reese here from Psalm 71:17, and you're watching the book of Joshua in 3 minutes. The book of Joshua marks the end of the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Chapter 1 picks up where the book of Deuteronomy left off, with the death of Moses and God commissioning Joshua to be the new leader of the Israelite nation. Chapter 2 tells us the famous account of Rahab, a harlot in the city of Jericho, who hid 2 Israelite spies from being found by the kingdom of Jericho. The spies complete their mission, and Rahab is promised salvation from the Israelite army as a result. Rahab would go on to be a very important character in the Bible, as we learn through the book of Ruth, as well as the books of Samuel. In chapter 3, the nation of Israel finally crosses the Jordan River into the promised land of Canaan. And in chapter 6, the conquest begins. We see Joshua's military prowess in chapters 6 through 8, as he leads the nation of Israel into defeating Jericho and Ai. In chapter 10, we find the notable miracle of God holding the sun still over Gibeon as Joshua and the Israelites make war with that nation. Just as it had been apparent with Moses, God made it very clear that he was standing with the Israelites as they conquered nation after nation through the first couple of chapters. Chapter 11 gives us a very nice summary of everything that Joshua took. Verse 16 reads, "Thus Joshua took all this land, the mountain country, all the south, all the land of Goshen, the lowland, and the Jordan plain, the mountains of Israel, and its lowland." Verse 17 goes on to say, "From Mount Halak to the ascents of Seir, even as far as Balgad in the valley of Lebanon, below Mount Hermon. He captured all their kings and struck them down and killed them." As a matter of fact, verse 19 goes on to say, "There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All the others they took in battle." Joshua's story arc is similar to Moses in that God had promised his people something. In the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, it was salvation from the Egyptians. And in the book of Joshua, it's the promise of the promised land. And in each of these different arcs, God chose a leader out of the people. In the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, being Moses. And in the book of Joshua, being the title character of Joshua. The rest of the book, from chapters 13 to the end of the book in chapter 24, tell us about the division of the land among the different tribes. In chapter 24, we find an emotional farewell from Joshua as he prepares to die in his advancing age. Here, he pleads with the Israelite people to stay true to their God, as they hadn't done a very good job of doing that under Moses' leadership. The Israelite people promised to do so, leaving Joshua a solid legacy. The book ends with the death of Joshua.